Hello, hello. How you doing, folks? We're live finally. I know. Sorry about that. Paul was a little bit missing there at 5, and then because he was missing, I went missing for a minute. So, anyways, all right.
Hi there. How you doing? How you doing?
So, all right. I was having trouble getting the studio cleaned up. I've been using it as a viewing room over the Christmas holidays here. I've been watching movies and stuff in here. So had somebody else with me that didn't want to be on camera, and so anyways, all right. So here we are finally on camera here live talking to y'all. So obviously some of you looked at the title, so we're going to be talking about a little bit about Ken Kratz today. The title's a little bit of a joke based on Scottish humor. So it's basically asking, do you know if Ken knows false confessions? So so we're going to explore that potentially here a little bit today. So,
well, first of all, Mr. Erekose, I see you've got a nice new T-shirt. Was that a Christmas present?
A new one. I've had this one for a while. Christmas last year.
I was going to say something like that. It's a nice T-shirt. It's a very nice
Charlie
T-shirt.
Berman's Wisconsin state flag. Keep her moving.
Well, I think your T-shirt matches my flag.
Yeah, that one. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's just about the same sentiment, isn't it?
See, Travis doesn't get the Scots. He says they have no humor. I disagree.
We don't have any humor. We have lots of things besides humor.
I disagree. I think the Scots have a pretty good sense of humor. But anyway.
What I would just like to point out to all the viewers is that if they would like a trained assessor of dentistry to look at their teeth, they just need to appear on YouTube and just stating the truth. We'll have a look at your teeth and decide if they are sound or if they need any work done to them. I don't know exactly what. Just stating the truth or just supporting the lies or whatever the hell she's called wants to say, but apparently my teeth are in desperate need of attention, so I don't think they're that bad actually for a 55-year-old. So
dude, they're just kind of lame with their. I had one the other day saying stuff like I was stinking up social media, blah 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 blah. This whole analogy of stinky whatever, and it's just like, okay, like, I ended up responding to the person like, because they were calling me a troll. They said hashtag internet troll in the tweet.
Oh, you're the troll.
And so I'm like, I go, it's my experience that the internet trolls have all insults and no substance. But I'm sorry you think I'm an internet troll. I basically just said it like that, classy. The person ended up blocking me, and now I don't ever see anything that they tweet. So
I got blocked by Ken Kratz on Twitter. So we seem to be in esteemed company.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I don't know what this person's name was, but I don't know. Anyway, it was lame.
Yeah. The only problem with that is that once people start getting personal, it shows that they've lost the argument.
Yeah, or they feel they're losing it. Right.
It's like they're trying to provoke a response. As I've said to many a guilter, you're going to have to try a lot harder than that. Erekose has insulted me far better than anything you'll come out with.
Yeah,
and I was
about Scottish independence. Anyways,
I was watching the video with my sister last night. She came up to Scotland for the New Year. We were watching some of the Denise Rainey Manitowoc. What goes on in Manitowoc stays in Manitowoc, or what was it? About 3:30 in the morning, the dance off, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And it's like we kind of cut our teeth on listening to all this BS from guilters. It's like if please, if you're going to insult me, please try and come up with something original, because honestly, what's just telling, supporting the lies came out with, and obviously what somebody said to you and all this about you being a troll. It's like, come on, can you not think of anything better than that? At least have a and have a bit of sense of humor about it as well. I mean, at least Charles Darwin has a certain sense of humor. Can you remember when he was trying to peddle his books, and I said that if it was a cold winter, it could be kind of useful as fuel for the log fire.
Yeah.
And Ken Kratz says, so does that mean I can put you down as a maybe then for buying the book?
Right.
I thought that was actually quite funny. I enjoyed that. I mean, he's a worthless piece of what's it, but that was kind of funny, kind of witty, and I must admit, I did for at least over Christmas, a couple of days over Christmas. It was kind of a bit of a truce, and I would like to pay tribute to Woody Woodpecker Woody, who at least I wish. I presume I'm dealing with a female. She's never argued otherwise, and I wished her a Merry Christmas, and she wished me a Merry Christmas back, and just left it at that. And that was a little bit of classiness. You don't have to be a complete idiot when it comes to this kind of stuff. I didn't kill Teresa Holbach. They didn't kill Teresa Holbach. We want to know who did. We think it's somebody other than Stephen Avery. For whatever reason, they claim to think that it was Stephen Avery and Brendan Dassey. What makes them think that it's them beggars belief? If you look at all the evidence, if you simply take everything on face value, as I did earlier today, I was explaining to somebody that if you look at the fact that the car was found on Stephen Avery's site, salvage yard. He lives in a salvage yard. He lives in a caravan on a salvage yard. He's a scrapyard dealer. The rest of the family do. They live on the site. Most of them live on the site, and the key, the bones, the blood in the RAV, and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, if you take a very, very small look at what's going on there, yeah, okay. If what I'm trying to say is if there's probably guilters that are, some of them are, for want of a better word, they're diehard. Some of them are, you'll never be able to explain to them. They've almost certainly got a vested interest in this. Right. I can't help thinking that there will be some that once you give them the appropriate bit of information, that it might cause them to question what they were told, what they believe, and that given the right information, given the the facts about this, and once for some of them,
I think a lot of them already do.
Once they see it for themselves.
Yeah, I think when they lash out on social media, that's them considering those things and having doubts, and so their reaction is to lash out, and in the ways that they do, because that, I don't know, because it makes them feel more secure in the ground they've chosen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In other words, the ground of them being guilty. So it seems like they're lashing out in those ways. So I know that people tend to lash out when they feel threatened, and that's why I surmise that way, as you are basically kind of suggesting here as well. So, but yeah, no, I'm on board with that. I think that's probably true. That's probably a good bet.
Well, I'm looking at the moment, as I'm sure you know, about the the decision by Judge William Duffin, who I thought wrote a very, very, very comprehensive, and I in my own humble opinion, I would say he wrote a very, very fair assessment. In fact, I would say he bordered on the side of being in favor of the state, in that he didn't find any, just as the state did, any wrongdoing by Kachinsky and O'Kelly, and I know that beggars belief with a lot of people.
Yeah.
But he said that, well, basically, they had a job to do, and they did not provide an ineffective assistance of counsel, which I know that from a Stephen Law's point of view, that kind of beggared belief. What he did say was that they approached the issue from the Sullivan approach rather than the Strickland, and then went on to discuss what was the difference between Strickland and Sullivan, and I'm not going to begin to try and explain what the difference is, because it's very late at night here in the Scottish borders. I've been through all of that in the videos, but I just found that basically he erred on the side of supporting the state, but when it came to the fundamental question of was Brendan Dassey's will overborne, I thought it was quite clear. He made it quite clear. I mean, there's some lines from his decision which I find absolutely simple but brilliant at the same time. It's bad enough being a defense lawyer and telling your client you're in a hole.
Yeah.
But why would you be wanting to make that hole bigger by helping the prosecution?
Right. Yes, absolutely. I mean, I don't see how Len Kachinsky's behavior can be viewed as anything but detrimental to Brendan Dassey's case.
Absolutely.
Putting him back in the room unsupervised with the two jerks that did this in the first place. Yeah, I mean, right. It's just, to me, Len Kachinsky he's not a much of a lionheart. He saw the law and the legal system as a way for him to find his way to. It was a way for him to exercise his will in the world, and it was just a tool for him, that's the way it comes off. That's the way it comes off to me. I don't think he really cares about any humanitarian type issues or anything like that. He's just there in court to see what he can do. And in this case, it seems like he was seeing what he could do to help the state. Because it certainly didn't seem like he was there to help Brendan.
I know that I keep hassling about this, and I do apologize for this, but once you've watched The Confession Killer, there will be a line that you will absolutely love, which refers to Vic Feazell. And somebody refers to Vic Feazell. I think it's one of the Texas Rangers. I think it's Mr. Prince, who says that the most dangerous place to be is between Vic Feazell and a camera when he's giving a press conference. and it's a little bit like that with Kachinsky, isn't it? He spent 12 hours, documented 12 hours, compared with 1 hour with Brendan.
Right.
When it came to 12 hours with the media. Sorry, I should explain. 12 hours. He spent 12 hours with the media explaining about how Brendan was. What did he describe it as? Whilst he's 16 years old, he's still morally and ethically responsible and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah, right.
And it's like, Len Kachinsky simply viewed being Brendan's attorney as an opportunity to make a name for himself.
Yeah.
That's
it's all just a tool for him, for his own grandeur.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when now that I've started doing these videos about the Judge William Duffin decision, we all know, and there's no beating about the bush there. There's no dubiety here. There is a guilter that goes by the name of Charles Darwin.
Yeah.
I think I've been explaining for the last 6 months, and slowly but surely everybody has come to agree with me that yes, Charles Darwin is Ken Kratz. In my messages now to Charles Darwin, Ken doesn't even try and deny it. He just, in fact, it's kind of funny, you know, having this sort of conversation with him.
Yeah.
He alerted me. It's kind of bizarre because he alerted me to an article that was a published article, which was to do with the false confessions in the what was it called in the modern DNA era, or the post DNA era.
Yeah.
You know, and it basically, this article refers to the fact it's by Richard Leo and Stephen Drizzen. Richard Leo had previously done articles with another guy called Lachey. Richard, he's done various stuff, and basically there's not a mountain, but there's a growing collection of literature about false confessions and how they come about.
Right.
The effects of them.
Yeah.
Anyway, to cut to the chase, in the 2010 appeal by Brendan Dassey, this was once Stephen Drizzen and Laura Noda had taken over his appeals. Yeah. 2010.
Right. Yeah.
And you remember we see footage of that with Ken Kratz being called as the first witness.
But I think it was in 2013 for Brendan. I think Stephen was in 2010, because as his appeals were wrapping up, that's when they gave the bones back in 2011. So I think Brendan's was in 2013. But yes, nevertheless, yes, they had Ken Kratz on the stand.
Sorry, I don't want to seem argumentative, but that was when they approached it from a federal habeas point of view. I think when it came to the initial sort of appeal to the state court system, that started as early as 2010. I just remember a lot of the complaints that Brendan hadn't exhausted his appeals yet. Oh no,
he hadn't exhausted his the appeals that he's automatically granted upon being convicted. He hadn't exhausted those yet. I remember that.
But the point is that in 2010 there was a 5-day sort of appeals hearing.
Okay, fine. And I know Ken Kratz was interviewed at one point.
He was called forward as a witness. One of the witnesses that was called forward was Richard Leo, who had written for want of a better word, a thesis on the subject of wrongful confessions in the post-DNA era.
Right.
And it was Charles Darwin, a.k.a. Ken Kratz, that alerted me to this fact and said, do you realise, of course, that Judge Duffin, who, as you say, in 2013, you're absolutely right there, 2013, that's when Duffin first heard the appeal from a habeas point of view.
It was sent to him, but we don't make a decision until 2016. So.
Oh, I know. It took him a long time, and one can understand why. I on this occasion, would you not rather have a judge take his or her time, to look at it, fully understand what was going on, and then come up with a decision, such as Duffin's? I know I would, because having read through the whole of the document, 91 pages, Here's somebody that's got a proper grasp on what was going on,
Right.
unlike Sukovic, who clearly hasn't got a clue, other than I'm gonna act as a district attorney, and I'm going to protect my friends.
Right. I think something interesting that when you bring up the era, the era, or the post DNA era, or the whatever, the post DNA era, is that I think it's funny because obviously I don't think a lot of these prosecutors and DA's offices realized the double-edged sword that it was going to turn into.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you're going to be able to use it to get some convictions, but it's also going to be used by people that you've wrongly convicted as a way to prove their innocence. Now, I think it's interesting that the system is all too willing to allow it and use it and accept it for when it comes to convictions and getting convictions, but when it comes to setting them right, the system suddenly bogs down and gets real slow at acknowledging the importance of DNA evidence. So I do find that interesting, the double-edged sword, and how the system has reacted very strangely, in the sense that they're very accepting of one edge of that sword, but not so much of the other edge of that sword.
Absolutely. So what we were talking about was the fact that these this at the hearing, this testimony was heard from Richard Leo, who, along with Stephen Drizzen, had done this article about it, this thesis. Right. And what Charles Darwin said to me, and I didn't even realize any of this, that Judge Duffin had actually cited this article by Drizzen and Leo.
Mm-hmm.
And what he was trying to say was that, do you think that's fair that a judge should use this article by Drizzen? So I thought, well, let's. What I did first of all was I tried to find out if there was any publications, anything published about this whole business of people falsely confessing. If there was any publications to say that wasn't the case, that people that say that people falsely confess, it is wrong. In other words, if you've got people who are saying that this happens, have you got other people that are saying this isn't true? People don't. In effect, the Tom Fallons of this world that would have you believe that innocent people do not confess.
Right. Which is about
even Charles Darwin, even Ken Kratz said no. There is no such publication. And so therefore this whole idea that what in effect what is wrong with Judge Duffin quoting Richard Leo's articles?
Yeah. Well, it's just like the majority judges at the en banc. Did you hear just how disdainful they were of Wicklander and Zawalski and their opinions regarding, false confessions? I mean, Judge Hamilton was like, "Oh, so why should we listen to them? Just because somebody who's actually, involved in this type of stuff or whatever says that it's wrong doesn't mean that we're supposed to accept it as judges or whatever." Like, he was making some really like as if it just made absolutely no difference. It didn't matter for anything. And so, yeah, I can imagine Kratz is probably arguing it the same way or thinking of it the same way.
Well, yeah. Fair comment. Judge Hamilton, he's a sensible guy, isn't he? But I got the sense that one of the things that that Kratz was doing as usual, was trying to suggest how, maybe what the Seventh Circuit should have done, and Judge Duffin before him should have done, is they should have read Kratz's book, and I'm like, can you imagine the Seventh Circuit citing Kratz's book?
Yeah, right. No, yeah.
As if that's going to happen. This is a bit of an aside, but why would the sheriff of Calumet County tell me that I should check out the book by the disgraced former district attorney of Calumet County?
Because they don't want to give any comment?
That's
why. That's it. It's gonna be the reason. He can't comment himself. He's just pointing to. He's like, here, go read this jackass's book. Let him take the fall.
It just beggars belief. I mean, what? At least Robert Herman had the good sense to say to me, that basically he wasn't happy that Netflix and Making a Murderer had covered all the Ken Kratz sexting scandal, and had said, well, what's this got to do with Making a Murderer? And at the time, I said to him, well, probably nothing. I didn't know anything about the ins, not the ins and outs. Sorry, the debate over the sexting scandal. It's only once you actually cover exactly what was going on with this sexting scandal and the years over which he just did how he liked,
and the way that he deals with it when it finally does get found out, and the way that he tries to act like he's too big for it. It shouldn't matter because he's a fish.
Yeah,
and that's just like, whoa, yeah, dude, that clearly shows the type of thinking he does.
Anyway, to cut to the chase, I thanked Ken for alerting me to the to this thesis by Richard Leo and Ken Kratz, as you do, because
he means Richard Leo and Stephen Drizzy, folks. Sorry,
Richard Leo. What did I say?
You said Ken Kratz.
Okay. So that was directed by Ken Kratz to this thesis by Richard Leo, Stephen Drizzy.
There you go.
Okay. So it was, as I say, it was this thing that was cited by Judge Duffin, and as I say, having been directed to this, I was thanked by that. I thank Ken because it was something that Mill Billy said in one of the videos that we did a while back.
Right.
Was if you get the opportunity to engage, chatting
the prize
with Ken Kratz, do so. It's and don't do it in a nasty way, in a vile way. Do try, if at all possible, to ask him questions.
Yeah.
You will not get a straight answer to the question that you are asking, but if you ask enough questions, he will let slip on something else.
Well, and that's another thing about it, folks. Come at him with well thought out questions involving the facts for him to answer. Yeah. And then when he obfuscates and deflects and asks a completely different question and answers it for you, then you'll be able to show that as, look, this is what he does. He doesn't want to answer. He doesn't want to answer any of the important questions. This is how he does. Just like he did when Foley was asking him about the sexting scandal. He wanted to turn it around and make it all the Foley's fault. Fault. This is Ken Kratz. This is the way he is. He will never admit that he did anything wrong. So when he says he did nothing wrong in the Avery case, I don't believe him. Yeah. So there you go.
So then I looked at the actual article by Steve Drizzen and Richard Leo, because I thought, well, this is typical of Ken Kratz to come up with a headline, and there to be no substance in his headline. And in actual fact, as we've seen many times, he will come up with a headline of which there's no substance, but when you actually look into it, the substance actually points away from what he's trying to say.
Yeah.
So therefore we've got a look, an assessment of 125 cases of wrongful convictions, proven wrongful convictions, not even debated ones, but proven ones, that show that I think the figure is something like 25% of exonerations
involve a false confession.
Yeah. Once somebody is proven innocent by,
that's in the adult tier. That percentage goes up.
33%.
Juvenile tier.
Yes. Yeah. And in the article, I will actually go through it page by page, bit by bit, because once I finish with this Judge Duffin's decision, I can only thank Ken. Well, I mean, I can only thank him from the heart of my bottom for having, directed me towards this great article by Leo and Drizzen, because it's absolutely wonderful reading. It goes through the some of the Central Park 5 case. What was really interesting is that it does a breakdown of the percentage of, as I say, wrongful convictions that have been proven wrongful convictions involving false confessions in this sort of post DNA era, and what was really interesting. So you carry on. I read that. Yep.
Okay, so that article has been cited. Has been cited nearly 1,000 times by other authors in peer-reviewed academic articles. So it's qualified, I guess.
It's one of the best bits of reading you'll find. It's brilliant. It's exactly it explains it in exactly what you would want, and it goes into the a bit like Duffin's decision. It explains it all. It's not just a case of you and me having a bit chat about it. Oh, that Ken Kratz, he's a waste of time. But it actually explains. Once you've read it and gone through it, it explains it. But what was really interesting is that going back to 1987, the percentage of these cases that involved a wrongful a false confession in a wrongful conviction was something like, I made a note here, it's about 14%. By 2004, the percentage was up to 25%. And of course, what I really want to know is what has caused this figure to grow. Is it simply the fact that we're now looking, we as in the whole community of people that are interested in this thing, are looking at this situation and are realizing the kind of mistakes that are being made?
Yeah.
I mean, it's brutal reading at times. It deals with some of the tortures that they used to inflict on the accused. The water tortures. What was it? The monkey something or other. The monkey thing, and the
monkey.
It was to do with electrical currents being passed through bodies, to make them confess, and the water tortures, and all kinds of other beatings and stuff like this, and the use of rubber hoses and all, it's pretty graphic detail at times, but this is this is stuff that at one point in history, that was considered acceptable. You know, you got to remember it was only a few hundred years ago when if somebody drowned, having been accused of being a witch,
right?
If they drowned, that proved they were a witch because they drowned.
Right.
You know, it's
actually, wasn't it if they drowned that proved that they weren't a witch? But if they, I mean, the whole reasoning on the witch trials was,
You're right. If they drowned, it proved that they weren't a witch. What a shame.
It proved they were a good Christian. So, yeah. Anyways, but yeah, anyways.
kind of twisted. So anyway, one of the things I wanted to particularly look at was the
Sharon was keen to point it out to you. There you go.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
hello.
It's not the first time that a female has pointed out that I've been wrong, but we'll move swiftly on, shall we? So, what just to kind of finish up the press conference,
yes,
by Democrats
was an absolute freaking horrid abomination that should never have happened. But anyways, yes, and it comes off of the back of an horrible, ridiculous confession that should never have happened. So that's basically what we kind of get with the Duffin. I mean, the as I say, the Duffin decision, I think is very fair. It's made, from my point of view, I feel it's slanted towards the state and the state courts decisions in the fact that it's supported. You know, I remember it was about 2 years ago that Steve Drizzen said, "Well, you do realise that the even Judge Duffin didn't accept our case for conflict of interest and ineffective assistance to counsel by Kachinsky." And I'm like, what? But Duffin does tackle that issue head on. He does explain why it wasn't a conflict of interest because of the stuff like the May 13th confession wasn't used. The minority judges didn't hold with his opinion. They clearly thought that what Len Kachinsky had done had seriously harmed Brendan, and they're 100% right. It seriously harmed Brendan. I don't care what anybody else says. It harmed him.
I mean, let's just go with that fantastic line when, as Duffin says, it's been stated before, but I'm going to state it again. It's one thing for a defense attorney to tell his client that he's in a hole. Yeah. It's a completely different thing
to get a shovel.
to give the prosecution a shovel in order to make them.
All right, hand him a shovel. Right. Yeah. Either way.
It's just farcical.
Rent the backhoe. Anyways, but
yeah. So then you look at this press conference, which even Ken Kratz himself has said that he would not have done it the way he did it.
Yeah, sure. Hindsight's 20/20, but
it's a bit like it's like Herman saying that he if he had the chance to do it again, he would have not had Manitowoc County Sheriff's Department officers involved in the finding of evidence. Right. I would suggest to Robert Herman that if he hadn't have had Lincoln Colburn, these crackerjack detectives searching Stephen Avery's bedroom on 7 occasions, they would not have found that key, because it takes an expert such as Andy Colburn to find this key.
Imagine how much less we would have to question if Manitowoc County Sheriff's Department had just remained uninvolved. You know what I mean? If they had just remained uninvolved. This is the way I see it going. Number one, there would have never been a case against Stephen Avery built. right? Or a case against Stephen Avery would have been built, only we wouldn't be able to point at all of these conflict of interest officers who seem to be right there at every single crucial moment when something was being found incriminating against Stephen. So we wouldn't have that happening. So just imagine. For me, it could still go two ways, because look, if Manitowoc disappears, the evidence could disappear, and therefore there would be no case against Stephen Avery. So it would be interesting to know. It would be interesting to see what result we would have had Manitowoc not been involved.
Well, Ken Kratz would have us believe that even if the key was planted, there was plenty of other evidence.
Yeah,
against Stephen Avery. Even if you accept,
in the main burn site where she supposedly was burned, there's only 40% of her remains. Nope. Okay, let's go on to the bullet. The bullet that's found on top of the concrete dust in the garage from the jackhammering that happened after Teresa was supposedly shot in there, and this perfectly shiny bullet is sitting on top of the concrete dust in there. Huh. Yeah, nope, I'm not buying that one. No trace of Teresa anywhere around there. Nope. None of it. Nothing. There's nothing to support. It's and the evidence they find is just ridiculous, really. And the RAV4 found double parked on a ridge, covered with crap to make it stick out like a sore thumb, so that a blind man in Australia could freaking see it. I mean, there's nothing about this that's, anyway. So, like I said, it would have helped them if Manitowoc wasn't involved and then all this evidence came in. That would have been more helpful for them. But then again, if Manitowoc wasn't involved, maybe all this evidence doesn't come in. That's all I'm saying.
If you accept that the key was planted, you might accept that everything else is planted. In fact, as you look deeper into what was going on here, you begin to realize, as you've just outlined, everything was planted. When you simply present the facts of the supposed facts of the case, the various bits of blood of Steve and Teresa in the car, the fact it was found on the salvage site, the as you say, the key, the DNA, when you put it in very, very simplistic terms, you can kind of understand how people went along with this idea that, well, Anjanette Levy finds it very difficult. Emily Matasic phones Stephen Avery, or Stephen Avery phones her, and as we discovered through one of the videos from Millbilly, she's like, so you've got all this evidence against you, and you're still trying to say that you're innocent. How is that? It's like she's trying to say everybody else has had a go at trying to tell you all this evidence stacks against you, but I'm going to be the one that's going to get you to confess. And Steve's like, well, yeah, and what would made you think that? Well, did it happen like in 1985? And
right.
did they keep me in there for an extra 10 years just for the fun of it?
Right.
Yes.
Exactly.
What kind of effort are you? If you cannot appreciate exactly what's going on, you cannot just simply go with the basic facts in this. You have to delve deeper. Yeah. You have to look.
Yeah, you do.
And so in terms of looking deeper into this, one of the most bizarre things about the Stephen Avery case, and I'm sorry. I'm going to do a little bit of a kind of a a judge.
Yeah.
What am I thinking about? I'm going to kind of do a little bit of a sort of Judge Duffin. It's been stated before, but it's worth stating again. So let me just go back.
All right. While you're looking for that, Travis, what is it you're trying to say? How does lead floating have anything to do? I mean, are you saying Avery Salvage Yard is a body of water? I'm having trouble trying to understand how that statement right there applies. If you could help us out.
No, I think what Travis is trying to say is that when you present stuff that's clearly false, that it still floats with certain people.
There you go. I like that.
I think that's all he's trying to say is you know, even when you present something that is completely ridiculous, some people will still accept. Yeah, of course lead floats. Of course it floats. Lead floats, doesn't it? Yeah. I think that's. I hope that's.
You know what? It works for me. I'll buy it.
I've got a quote here by. In fact, let's just go back. Let's just go back. Here we go. Here is. This is what Ken Kratz said at the press conference, and I do apologize. I am reading exactly from John Farrak's article in the Post-Crescent, but this is well known. Okay, so here we go. Welcome to the fantasy world of Ken Kratz. 16-year-old Brendan Dassey retrieved the mail. No, we know that's not true. Steve's mum retrieved the mail and noticed one of the letters was for his uncle Stephen Avery. As Brendan approaches the trailer, false, as he actually gets several hundred feet away from the trailer, BS,
right,
a long way from the trailer.
For any of this, but
sorry,
go ahead. Because he's with Blaine, and Blaine says none of this.
Yeah. A long way from the trailer, Brendan already starts to hear the screams.
Yeah.
As Brendan approaches the trailer and hears louder screams for help.
Notice how it's like a creative writing hour?
Yeah.
Trying
as
to put
Brendan approaches the trailer and hears louder screams for help, he recognizes it to be of a female individual, and he knocks on Stephen Avery's trailer door. Hey, Uncle Steve, what's going on? It's farcical, isn't it?
Right. Oh, absolutely.
Brendan says he knocks at least three times. Times. He's desperate to find out what's going on.
Desperate to find out what's horribly going on.
Yeah. And has to wait until a person he knows to be his uncle, who is partially dressed and is full of sweat, opens the door and greets his 16-year-old nephew. Brendan accompanies his sweaty, let's get that right, 43-year-old uncle down the hallway to Stephen Avery's bedroom, Kratz declared. There they find Teresa Halbach completely naked and shackled to the bed. By the way, a bed that exhibits zero marks of any evidence of any shackling to...
No Teresa DNA, hair, any suggestion in any way that she was there at all. Yeah.
Teresa Halbach is begging Brendan for her life. The evidence that we've uncovered.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's no evidence she was ever there. So
well, hold on a sec. Ken Kratz would differ with you there. The evidence that we've uncovered established that Stephen Avery at this point invites his 16-year-old nephew to sexually assault this woman that he has bounded to the bed.
Yeah.
Brendan, even in interrogations, says, I'm too young to be a dad.
Right. That's one of the answers, right.
Yeah, yeah.
Shows how naive he is. It's like I say, it's one of the reasons why I say Governor Evers and his parole board talk about Brendan needing to register as a sex offender. It's like, really, guys? Do you honestly think this kid has ever committed the act? Ever?
Yeah.
Because he speaks very naively about it. Usually, if you've done it once or twice, you don't speak with that kind of naivety.
Yeah, but hold on a sec. Ken Kratz would argue with you that during the rape, Teresa is begging for help, begging 16-year-old Brendan to stop. If he could stop this, 16-year-old Brendan, under the instruction of Stephen Avery, cuts Teresa Holbach's throat, and she still doesn't die.
Right. And that doesn't work because we know Brendan faints at the sight of blood. So how could he have been helping his uncle if he was fainting the entire time? But go ahead.
So remember that as far as Ken Kratz was concerned, that was the story that he presented on. Was it March 1st, March 2nd, 2006?
The press conference?
Was it March 1st or March 2nd?
I think it was. I think it would have been 3rd and 4th.
It doesn't matter.
Because they go into the garage again on the 2nd and 3rd. So I think the press conference is
March 1st.
March 1st is when they're interrogating Brendan.
Yeah.
So
no.
Then they go into the garage. They go into Stephen's garage and find the bullet again on the 2nd.
So the press conference was on the 2nd. Yeah. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
2nd or 3rd. But Sharon says 3rd or 4th. I was saying 2nd or 3rd.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah. Here's the important thing, though. Kratz told USA Today Network, Wisconsin, this week, whatever this week was in 2016, he quote, I gave a great deal of thought to the information I commented on, as my effort was to limit details which might be shared, trying to spare the victim's family from having all of the details in the court complaint released.
I have to ask that all the 14-year-olds leave the room at this time. Yeah, right, dude. Sparing what? No. Anyways, go ahead.
What? Am I a bit dense when it comes to this, or am I reading this right? No comment. No comment. In other words, by commenting on some of the details in the complaint, I was hoping the media would not choose to release all of the disturbing details.
That is a load of horse shite.
But let's think about this, right? When Dean Strang and Jerry Butin said to Judge Willis,
yeah,
let's have this declared a mistrial because of what Ken Kratz has just said, and let's face it, we've got countless legal experts that have said that is just ridiculous. We can laugh about it, we can joke about it as much as we like, but at the end of the day, Stephen Avery and Brendan Dassey were found guilty based,
right,
mainly on that press conference, because at the end of the day, it's that press conference that fueled public opinion.
Certainly, yeah, absolutely.
and so,
a lot of people's minds, I'm sure. Yeah.
So therefore, what you've got to look at is, well, when Dean and Jerry said to Judge Willis, this demands a mistrial, and I think any sensible, right-minded person would say, how can you possibly have a trial of two individuals when that information has been released, or well, it's not information, but when the prosecutor, when the the county prosecutor, the prize prosecutor has come up with a press conference like that,
Right.
how are you ever going to get a jury that is going to be fair? And
Yeah.
and Judge Willis apparently said that there wasn't a precedent for having a trial deemed a mistrial even before it started because of that press conference.
Right.
That simply isn't true. There was a case of, I don't want to go into great detail about it, but there was this case of 6 men being accused of a terrorist attack planned on the Sears Tower in Chicago.
Right.
And again, the judge deemed it a mistrial. That was in 2006, I believe. That there are other cases where, when you come out with a press conference like that, when you've got that kind of press conference, it's
Yeah.
you don't need legal minds to tell you that that's wrong. Everybody knows that that's wrong.
Right. This is the land of the free and the home of the brave, where we're supposed to get a fair trial if we're ever accused of a crime. I mean, how can it be fair if the prosecution's able to spend millions of dollars and just smear you in the media? What chance do we have against that kind of campaign? I mean, that's some of the inequities that need to be ironed out in the justice system right now, in my opinion, because there's nothing preventing the state from going as big as they want, and like I said, they hold all the cards. So.
Mm-hmm. Travis has pointed out that there's no precedent in Wisconsin. I am pleased, very pleased to hear that there is nothing comparable. Although I would just argue that, when it comes to the $50 million bullet, we had a police statement that said that one officer was shot in the helmet and he went to hospital.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that is called being economic with the truth. I believe that's what I would call it.
Right.
I think that there was some things in between that happened with Mr. Craig Hoff. Was it Craig Hoffer?
Hoffer, right?
Hoffer, yeah.
Hoffer, yeah.
I think between him being shot in the helmet and him going to hospital, I believe he carried out some sort of government execution of the one of the owners of Eagle Nation Cycles.
He's also one of the ones that were immediately turning around and telling the press that they had warned Michael Funk. And upon going back and watching all the video, everybody figured out that wasn't true. So they had to walk that statement back. I mean, there's lots of stuff that they misrepresented because they know it makes them look bad. So there was no trial in the $50 million bullet situation. That's true. The trial, it was basically denied before it ever got to trial.
And was that Judge Griesbach again? William Griesbach?
Griesbach, yep.
Yeah. Well, why does that not surprise us? It's as I'm going to keep going on at yourself, Mr. Erekose. I hope at some point you'll have a chance to watch the Confession Killer.
Yeah.
Because to be honest, there are rules of ethics for a district attorney. and they're very simple. They're very sensible. They are, the kind of rules that you would hope that a district attorney would follow. I think what we're finding as we look at more and more of these cases is very depressing, that there are district attorneys out there that have a complete disregard for any of the rules of ethics that they swore when they took the oath to uphold.
Right. Yep.
And yet, when you watch Confession Killer, and I would strongly recommend this to everybody, Confession Killer, although it's in a way it's a very bizarre story, a very sad story, there are aspects of it that will absolutely make you go, yes. They will be those kind of yes moments when you hear the story of Vic Fazell. But anyway, that's just to go. I see you've posted up Ripperjack Gaming. Good evening, Mr. Ripperjack, and hope your llamas are doing okay.
Hey, that one got stuck down by the lake when it rained one time, and it was unfortunate. But
yeah,
that was the llama that used to hang out in the lobby too. It was. Anyways, it was pretty well loved there. Anyway, but so Happy New Year, Merry. So that's about it. I'll let Mr. Capaldi get to bed here because it's probably like 2 a.m. for him now, and we'll see all you guys a little later. It's been fun talking tonight, buddy.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's look. What as I said before, what I find really interesting is let Ken Kratz talk. The more he talks, the more he shoots himself in the foot.
Oh, I agree.
He told me about this decision by, in the decision by Judge Duffin about this book or this article by Richard Leo and Stephen Drizzen.
Right.
And as I said to him, I said, well, could you please tell me about any publications that counter the argument that there is no such thing as coerced confessions, false confessions?
Mm-hmm.
No, there is no such publication that tells us about the opposite.
The fact that they don't exist, right?
Yeah, but he even then he tried to subtly mention that but that might be something for you to look at. That might be something for you to look at. Trying to hint my book.
Yeah.
To which I then pointed out, yeah, but the fly in the ointment here is the fact that, as you and I well know,
mm-hmm.
that Tom Fassbender on national TV, was it national TV? Well, certainly the Dr. Phil. So Dr. Phil said to him, is there any parts of this confession that might not be? In fact, I think it was Tom Fassbender who says, he said, do I think that Brendan Dassey engaged in all of what he said in his confession? No, I don't.
Couldn't have. Yeah, he couldn't have.
Well, actually,
you've done all the conflicting things. So yeah.
Actually, I do think that there are parts of Brendan's confession that probably did happen. The fact that he went to a bonfire, the fact that they picked up rubbish, the fact that they burnt a tire, the fact that they burnt a cabinet, the fact that he was playing on his PlayStation, the fact that his mum called him and told him to get his ass back over to. Right. I think all that's true. But when it comes to the actual, him seeing body parts and all that kind of stuff, and this whole story about the fact that he, the press conference, if Tom Fassbender himself doesn't know,
right,
if all of it is true,
Right.
then he doesn't know if any of it is true.
Agreed. Especially since him and Mark fed it all to him. So
The problem is, unless you can corroborate all that he said,
or any of it, really.
Yeah. I mean, this people honor me early on the week about I responded to somebody asking about the judges that decided. They were the majority decision in the original Seventh Circuit decision, and then they were the dissenting, weren't they, in the en banc decision?
Yeah.
But if you remember rightly, even in the majority decision by the Seventh Circuit en banc, even Hamilton agrees that that there are aspects of that confession that he finds difficult. But the whole point of the Seventh Circuit en banc wasn't the fact that they were questioning whether the confession by Brendan Dassey was true.
Mm-hmm.
It was whether his will had been overborne and whether any other court in the country, the whole country, could have found the state court's decision to
the
be
ridiculously high bar set by AEDPA. Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So, all right. Well, is that it? If I try to wrap up now, are you gonna go into another little thing there? I'm just asking.
Well, I was hoping because I've got a fiver in my pocket to put on the Super Bowl. Who are you going to suggest?
I don't know, Super Bowl. Shoot, I'm not even sure. I got to look at all the teams that made the playoffs. I haven't taken a look yet, but I don't know. Kansas City's looking pretty strong.
Is that an admission to the fact that none of your teams, none of your 15 teams that you support, have got any interest in the Super Bowl?
I don't know. I have to look. Like I said, I haven't watched. I haven't looked at who's all made the playoffs. I've been doing other things. So,
well, yes, of course you have. And honestly, I am going to keep rattling on about this, and you know I am, because this is important. Watch Netflix Confession Killers.
Yeah.
Yes, watch Dream Killers, but really, really, really do enjoy the Confession Killers. Travis has just made a question. Would you like to put it up on the screen?
I did.
They are made in Castelfidardo, which is where my accordion. But in fact, three of my accordions. Shoot, I shouldn't have said that because the wife doesn't know I've got three. Where my accordion is made is Castelfidardo.
All right. Okay, folks. All right. That's about it for this one, folks. We've been here for an hour and 8 minutes there. So hope you guys found it fun and interesting. Ripper Jack is saying Confession Killer is crazy. He's watched it. Maybe you can get him on your channel live. Talk about it.
Well, that would be fantastic. I'd like to get the pair of you on.
I'll watch it. I'll help coordinate it. Oh, Joe Care. There's one of our lovely Stephen Avery's guilty commenters there. Wow, you still haven't accepted that. Okay, here. Folks, here's one of our, we get this gentleman in our comment section quite a bit. So here he is. Let's see. I haven't been here for at least a year. Good to see you are still doing well. And you.
A happy Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to Joe Care as well. Mm-hmm. I hope that Santa was good to you.
So Ripper Jack says absolutely, buddy. So we'll have to make it happen. We'll get together and talk about the Confession Killer.
Yeah.
All right. So that's about it, folks. If you haven't already, please hit subscribe. Go over and head over to Paul's channel and hit subscribe. You know, he's just gotten over 1,000, but you know, we want to keep adding to it. So go over and hit subscribe for him.
And so can I just say to everybody who helped me to get there, to everybody, particularly Linda, the lovely Linda, and everybody else that helped me to get there, thank you very much. It's actually, when it gets to 1,000, it doesn't tell you then every individual notch up the ladder, you know, like.
Right.
But when I go to analytics, it's like it's still growing. So you know, I was a bit concerned if one or two people had done the Ken Kratz routine of creating you know, an alternative account and done it that way. But no, it's genuinely going. So I'd like to thank everybody that supported me. Well, obviously, my biggest supporter is the one that's on the opposite side of the screen to me. He's been a huge inspiration to me. You might want to shut up for a couple of minutes, dude. I would just like to tell you something about the dude. Well, I'm not going to tell you something about it. I'm going to tell you something about the fact that why do I appreciate the guy so much. Can I just say that we've had conversations about other things other than do with making a murderer, and I just love the guy to bits. He is. I've met him in person a couple of times. He is larger than life. He is louder than loud. He is like he fills the room. But me and him have had conversations about other aspects of, shall we say, life in general. Mm-hmm. And even though I admired him hugely before then, forget all the Eminem stuff.
Eminem stuff.
Yeah. Okay. Dude, you are an inspiration to a whole load of people. And I think I speak on behalf of a lot of people. We would say that we are very, very lucky to have you as this source of inspiration to us, a great leader, and you know, I know that's probably not the term that you would like in the that you know there's it's difficult being classed as a leader, but we just love you to bits, okay?
Yeah, like for example, you know,
it's yeah, and it's you know, I mean I said to him, wear a kilt. And he wore a kilt. He wore a kilt. He didn't wear anything with the kilt. He just wore it and just did that because he just he feels so passionate about it. He was willing to do that.
And buying the kilt wiped out my cash, so I couldn't buy the sporin and the, you know. Anyways,
and I was too mean to send him the sporin and the skein do and the tassels and all that kind of stuff. You know, it's. Right.
All he sends me is cut up bits of a Captain Crunch box. Hey, so no.
and you know what this is the best bit. Some of the guilters have sent me insults. Honestly, they pale into insignificance compared with some of the stuff that we have said to one another. Honestly. When he talks about going down Avery Road, oh God, did that strike memories for me? We both live on Avery Road, pal. We both.
Yeah.
We all live on Avery Road. We all live on Avery Road. We all feel the injustice that's been meted out here. And I'm just going to shut up because I'm just thinking.
All right. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. You know,
well,
of love there. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And you know, like I said, I try to be an example for what I would like to see other supporters, for them to the way that they would conduct themselves. I try to be an example. I'm not everybody's daddy. I can't tell everybody what to do, but I can set an example. I can do that. So, Travis was asking about the mailboxes. I don't remember counting mailboxes at the salvage yard. Did you? Here he is again.
I think I saw about 5.
He keeps asking about it.
About 5, yeah. But yeah, I remember. I would say that I remember when I first watched the full Brendan Dassey confession in full, and it did have a profound effect on me. And I tried to get in touch with Carla, and Carla wasn't available for whatever reason. And I had a chat with you, and I was in a very, very low place at that point when having just watched what had happened there, and that's just an aside. As I say, my respect for you comes from things completely out with making a murderer. And that's as far as I'm going to say. But yeah,
Right now,
you are a great dude, and you've put up with so much stick from me. I mean, I keep posting those Tim Jab videos of you, and you never retaliate. This is a strange thing. You've never once retaliated.
I'm too busy with other things, Too busy for the drama. I got my hands full with just this stuff. So, anyways.
Well, what I was going to say, you've never retaliated publicly. As I say, when it comes to the guilties, if you want to insult me, you're going to have to go a long way to do as good a job as Erekose has privately.
Yes. Yes, private chat's one thing. Anyways.
Exactly.
So, all right, guys. This is for real this time. If you haven't already, please hit subscribe. Go over and do that for Paul. And go over and do it for Mr. Stacy Seabrook as well. We are trying to get that fool to 1,000 subscribers so we can get that dude to do a live, performance, broadcast from his channel. So we're gonna get that to happen. So let's get him to 1,000.
And Millbilly and Linda and all the other YouTubers that are Andrew Whitehead and
go hit Andrew. Go hit Linda. Even Allie. She'll be back. Trust me. Eventually, at some point. Tracy Strunzy over at Basically a Lawyer. There you go. So, all right, guys, that's about it. We'll see ya.
Bye for now.